morning. We're just approaching the regional government headquarters for the Southwest, and we're just going to walk in and set up in the Ministry of Transport room, which is in actual fact the first room on the left hand side. On the top level of the bunker, it'll be possible to see which governmental departments were occupying which room. On the left here, we have the Ministry of Transport. Just across here, on the right hand side, you'll see we have site security. And now if we just walk down the corridor through the double doors here, on the right hand side you'll see Chief Clerk. Further along on the left hand side you'll see Ministry of Health. On the right hand side, on the opposite side, we have Ministries of Labour and Social Security, and within this room there were another 3 sub-offices. And as we move further along the corridor, on the right hand side will be the ladies' lavatories. On the left hand side here is the Deputy Principal Officer. On the right hand side here is a private office. Next to that is the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. So it's possible now to start seeing the build-up of civil servants that would have been here. On the left hand side we have Ministry of Power. On the right hand side here small kitchen. Further down the corridor, on the left hand side here, on the right, this room here, private office, and on the left here is an information unit. We carry on down the corridor back into the main corridor. On the right hand side here, Civil Defence Operations Staff. Over on the left hand side, Deputy Sub-Regional Commissioner. Further on down on the right hand side, here we have the Camp Commandant, who would have been in overall charge of the whole site and would have likely been a cabinet minister. And finally end here on the right hand side, men's lavatories and the double doors which go out into the stairs to the lower floor. Good morning. I'm speaking to you today from the Regional Government Headquarters for the Southwest, RG7, with this announcement. And this is written from the Chief Engineer, Mr. Fordyke, Ministry of Public Works and Buildings in Exeter. And it's written to direct us here details about exercise pigeon post. And it states, I phoned you this afternoon to give you early warning of all the above exercise at Gull Perch between the 28th of August and the 2nd of September 1963. Part of the operations building and the admin blocks will be in use from about 0900 hours on Wednesday the 28th of August to 0800 hours on Monday the 2nd of September. About 60 Army personnel will be taking part, in addition to some GPO technicians and Home Office personnel. A member of the headquarters staff will be responsible for the issue of necessary equipment. You have agreed to arrange for a number of maintenance staff to be on duty during the period of this exercise. Yours sincerely. And the second letter, again from Mr. Fordyke, just to let you know that there will be a small exercise at Gull Perch during the weekend 22nd, 23rd of February, when the administration block will be in use. Will you please arrange for a member of your maintenance staff to be on duty during this period? Sleeping in the headquarters, Mr. Earl will be as usual responsible for security and Home Office stores and equipment. I am sorry to say that we've not yet been able to recruit the further 2 patrolmen we require. I would be grateful if you would allow the present arrangement whereby either Mr. Jones or Mr. Holden are on day duty each Sunday. Yours sincerely, Mr. L.A. Fordyke. And the third letter is to notify us about exercise Thunderstone. Confirming our telephone conversation with you today, 2 officers and 26 other ranks will be taking part in the above exercise in addition to the above 21 civilians. The service personnel will be sleeping in the admin block and using the kitchen, and I would therefore be very grateful if you could arrange for a member of your maintenance staff to be on duty during the weekend, sleeping in the headquarters as usual. Mr. Earl will be responsible for security and Home Office stores and equipment. And I have one other point of note regarding special site. Yesterday I received a telephone call from a Mr. V.G. Button, Contracts Manager of Messrs. W.G. Heath of Plymouth, requesting permission to visit their staff when working at the above site. I have informed him that he must not visit without the necessary authority and security clearance. Mr. Button mentioned that an electrician mate of their firm, Mr. Sherlock, working with a Mr. Larson, the electrician on site, was not security cleared. I therefore enclose form N90 for both of these men to duly complete. For your consideration and necessary section, please. Mr. Button also mentioned that Chief of BBC in Plymouth also wished to visit the site in connection with the BBC studio. I informed him the advice the person making the inquiry that the BBC must make their own application through the approved department. And just another short note regarding the water supply, Gull Perch water supply. After Mr. Searle had collected water samples from the above recently, I inquired whether he was sampling water from both the borehole and the so-called well supply. He has now informed me that to the best of his knowledge, water from the 2 sources is pumped alternately to the storage tanks on site, and that the controlling switchgear for the two pumps is located in the pump house. Whilst this may not be within my previous province, it does occur to me that when the premises are used operationally, it will only be possible to change the source of supply at the pump house itself. Similarly, of course, chlorine can only be replenished by a visit to the pump house, but because of this, you are making provision for alternative treatment to drinking water. I wondered therefore if you have considered the advisability of moving the switchgear operating the pumps to the main building so that either source can be put into operation as necessary by remote control. It may well be, of course, that you've already considered this matter, but I thought worthwhile mentioning. Mr. D.F. Sullivan, Public Health Engineer, Bristol, 16th of July 1963.